Good evening. This is Lee Swanner. I'm glad you're here. And I just want to talk a little bit about bass fishing, of course. It's one of my favorite things. And that's why you're here as well, I'm sure. And I appreciate you doing that, taking time to come out and sit with me for a second. And I know we're not catching fish right now, so it's not that exciting. But what we're doing is learning things that are going to help us when we go. So it's like preparation. You get your tackle box all sorted out, you get your line changed. Uh, that's the very first thing. I kind of think that what does it take to put you ahead of your peers in terms of going out. You're gonna meet your buddy in the boat. Y'all gonna go to the lake, and you're equal in skill, or maybe he's even a little better than you. He fishes more than you, and he has got a big tackle box with all the latest baits and all the nicest rods and everything, and got his patches and such. I've got a couple of man's patches that a buddy of mine gave me the other day. Original man's patch, like a giant one that goes on your jacket. It's kind of interesting. I hadn't seen one of those in a long, long time. But what does it take to set you apart, or set you to prepare yourself? Say you got limited skill, limited experience, limited knowledge, and you want to be able to go out and have the confidence that you need to compete with your buddy. I mean, heck, it's always a competition. We all know that. When you get in a boat with somebody, you're aiming to beat them. And so I kind of boiled it all down to there's just a few things that I thought would be helpful. I know they've been helpful to me, and if I can remember them most of the time, they are helpful. But I think that aside from mindset and your attitude, there's a couple of basic things that you can do to make sure that you don't lose fish, and that you don't have a problem casting. That everything's in order. And so the first thing is change your line all the time. I change my line almost every time I go. I'm serious. When I go fishing, I come back, I change my line. I do. I like for that line to lay down, be smooth, come off the reel right, not be twisted or tangled or frayed. And that makes a huge difference, especially when you're throwing a bait casting reel. Or a spinning reel too, because you want it to come off that spinning reel smooth. You want it to come off your bait casting reel without having it. If it's got a bunch of like old backlashes that you pulled out, it gets kinks in it, so no matter how nice the line is, it has memory. And so if it's got a bunch of kinks in it, it's going to affect it when it comes off the spool. So there's nothing that feels better than a good full spool of new line. And so it doesn't matter what line you're fishing with, fluorocarbon or braid or monofilament or whatever it is, just change it the best you can, as many times as you can. Obviously it's expensive, so you don't want to you don't have to go all the way down to the end of the spool. Put a fresh couple of casts on there, and so put 50-60 yards on it, and that's what's coming off the spool when you're fishing. And so that's the number one thing. That's the first thing anyway, is keep that line changed. And the second thing, and it's also part of the line, is make sure that you've got your knot. You've got a good knot on there, and that in the middle of fishing, when you're fishing, don't wait until it's too late, because if it's too late, you've already lost the biggest bass you've ever caught. So take 5 seconds to pop that knot off and retie it. Pull it up about 3 or 4 feet, because that all around from the eye up a few feet is where it's going to catch on stump. When you pulling it off a stump or getting it out of the weeds, it's going to fray that line, and you can feel it. It's that way. You've caught 3 or 4 fish already, and bass got teeth. It's like sandpaper. It rubs on that line. So especially right there around the eye. So take a second, click, bite it off, clip it off, whatever you got to do. And my good cousin Ben Jarrett, he keeps a pair of nail clippers. I use my teeth. I've always used my teeth, and so I still do it that way. But of course, we're not shark fishing, so I can do that. Up to 20 or 30 pound test you can bite through. But if you need a pair of clippers, put them right there on your shirt, all around your neck, and but change that knot out. The buddy's over here casting still. Take 5 seconds, pop your bait off, pull out about 3 or 4 feet of line, and bite that off and then retie it. Boom, now you're good to go. So there's two things right there. Change your knot out in while you're fishing. Do it 3 or 4 times if you have to. Just feel that line and make sure that you're good, and keep your line changed on your spool too. So it casts good. It's got it's softer. It feels better. It comes off the spool better. So that's the number one. Two things right there. Let's see what else. Let's see if there's another one. I thought I'd written them down here. Some good. Oh, here's one thing. Look, hey, you got to have polarized sunglasses. You have to, and they don't have to be $300 glasses. Now there's some of the cheaper ones that aren't that good, that aren't really polarized, but you have to have polarized sunglasses. Calcutta, the cheap Calcuttas, the little $20 Calcuttas, those are good glasses. The more you clean them, the more kind of it abrades. I mean, it roughs up it takes that polarization off of them. So be gentle when you're cleaning your glasses, and they'll last for a long time. I mean, I always use those Calcuttas. I keep a nice pair of glasses, but I don't always use them. And of course, you're gonna leave them at the beach, or you're gonna drop them in the water. So that's $200 or $300. It's a lot of money. So hey, I can buy 10, 15 pairs of Calcuttas for that. So try that. But you got to keep good sunglasses and use them. You need a hat too, because see, sunglasses, light's gonna come in above them unless they're just super nice. There are some glasses that are really nice, but you got to have a hat to, good bill on top of that hat. See, like me, I got a big old bald head, but I don't wear hats. You know what I mean? So I'm at a disadvantage already. I went out and got poison ivy yesterday looking for Gator Boy, but guess what else I got? Look, that's something, ain't it? He's a rascal, but he's here to help, and so I appreciate him. But he's not helping today. He's been pooping, and so it's kind of a problem for me and him. We're talking about it, but we're trying to work through it. But it's possible that he's not going to be here much longer if he can't find that litter box. So find the litter box, keep your line changed, not changed, and wear sunglasses. All four of those 4 things right there, you're in business, man. You ain't got to know nothing else.